the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes.
Yeah!
I hope it's not that loud for them.
You're going to want to text the word 5 to 623-AZ-RECON. That's 5 to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, Justin, these down payment assistance programs, they come and they go.
Yeah.
Based on funding, and they never look the same. They're always slightly different, whether the down payment assistance money needs to be repaid or it's just a true grant, and so forth. And so right now, and this is especially important if you are a first-time home buyer or you have a child or a grandchild that is a first-time home buyer but doesn't quite have the necessary cash to put down on a home. And so Home and 5 is back.
It's back, and it's a big deal. So get the funds while they last. I think that's the biggest message that I could tell you. And you can't reserve those funds until you're under contract. So we're going to make a big push at trying to push this information out. And I'm not the only lender that's going to be pushing on this too. Because the last times the funds were out, it lasted about 5 weeks.
Right.
So 5 weeks.
So, I mean, in school, right, in college, the first thing they teach you in business school is there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Right.
Right. So,
fact.
what's the catch? Like, where are we paying? Where are these funds coming from? When are they going to come calling back for that so-called free money? Like.
So I don't know exactly where the full grant money comes through, but it's e-housing that is giving these funds. And there's the qualifications based on it. I would assume it has something to do with average market income and pushing this out to try to get first-time homebuyers into homes. I mean, we have seen a decline in first-time homebuyers being able to qualify for homes. So I think this is a push to raise that number of first-time homebuyers being able to qualify and be able to purchase. In a lot of these down payment assistance program grants, whatever you want to call it, these programs, typically you see a much higher interest rate than the market rate going out. In this particular case with this program, Home and 5 Platinum, they're given a below market rate, and it's about 0.5% lower. It's stupid low.
Yeah.
It's a great loan. The other part about it is typically when you get a good rate like this on a down payment assistance program, they're going to make it repayable, meaning you're going to pay a monthly payment for that money that they're giving you. But you're not repaying it monthly. 1/84th of it is forgiven per month. So it's a 7-year forgivable silent second. So a silent second means it sits as a lien on your property, but you're not paying on it. And it's prorated. So every month that you're in the house, they're forgiving 1/84th of it.
So if you own it for 70 months, then you'd owe a 14.
7 years.
You'd owe 14 months or 14.
Got it.
A 14th of it, yeah.
Right.
Maybe not that much.
We might have jumped the gun a little bit. Let's get into the basics of what a down payment assistance program is, what that specifically means for a first-time home buyer, and how much in assistance are they getting through this Home and 5 program.
So down payment assistance means that they're giving you money to apply towards down payment or closing costs. So you can use this in any way that you want, down payment or closing costs. But a seller can't pay for your down payment. So typically we're using this for down payment. Now, Home and 5 specifically is giving the money based on the amount you're borrowing on your note. So if your house is $400,000, you're not getting the money on the $400,000. You're getting the amount on the money that you're borrowing. And so it's 4% of that. Now, with these programs, though, there is more fees involved because they're getting paid there.
Because there's no such thing as a free loan.
There's no such thing as a free loan. It's not astronomical.
Such a Debbie Downer, man.
I'm just trying to understand.
But I would say it's about 1.25% of your loan amount of what they're charging you in closing costs.
But in turn, you still can get, through the way that Ryan and I negotiate and posture our contracts, you still can get some seller concessions.
Correct.
So let's say we got now 2% from the seller to go towards closing costs and so forth. Theoretically, a buyer could walk into a property with really zero money out of pocket.
Correct. And so this program is for FHA and VA buyers.
Oh, that's huge.
Ryan had sent over a VA guy yesterday, and we got him pre-qualified today. So typically, he would be responsible for closing costs on a VA because you can finance 100%. But in this case, we're able to use the Home in 5 program to essentially wipe out all of his closing costs, just in case he's up against somebody that's not going to give any seller concessions. But we all know how you guys work. You're going to end up finding a way to get him seller concessions, and then we can look at everything and dial it in based on whatever we come up with.
Do additional rate buy downs, etc.
Right. Or he can apply the funds that he was going to use for. We can't do rate buy downs on Home in 5.
Okay.
So it's a specific rate. Currently, it was running at a 6.090 based on the Home in 5 website. But we can use those funds to pay down his mortgage a little bit, save him monthly payments. We can use those funds to, maybe he needs to do some work to the property. So really cool that he's going to have the ability to adjust and look at his options. But it's one of those programs where I'm calling people up and I'm saying, hey, remember last week I was talking to you about down payment assistance and I was telling you there's nothing really good out there right now? Well, this one's out. It's not going to last long. I think you need to jump on this and let me explain why. And they're like, yes, I need to talk to my husband. We're in, or I need to talk to my wife or whoever they're going on the loan with.
This is why you just don't get married.
Sorry, Mindy.
Damn, dude.
I'm the Debbie Downer now.
But this is an incredible program. And I just don't see anybody involved saying no to it, even if you had to pay it back after moving out 2 years later. I mean, the person that I spoke to first today, we had him only pre-qualified for $410,000 because the rate difference. It went up to $450, and not only that, it was saving him $200 a month in the monthly payment. So it was a win-win-win. And even if they have to pay it back in 2 years, let's say they move, they're not paying interest on that money. They're in good shape. And they were able to accomplish home ownership, and hopefully they pull off some good appreciation in that period of time.
All right, we are talking about the Home in 5 program. If you are a first-time home buyer, or you've got a child or a grandchild that is looking to buy their very first home, we can't implore upon you enough to check out the Home in 5 program. All you got to do is text the word 5 to 623-AZ-RECON. That's 5 to 623-AZ-RECON, or simply put the word 5 in the comment sections. So we're talking about up to 4%, right? So Ryan, the way that my mind was thinking, because Justin and I were talking about this yesterday, because there's a cap on how much you can get in seller concessions at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So Home in 5 might be coming in with 4% and might be using it for the down payment, might be some money left over. We typically then are trying to get the seller to contribute anywhere from 2 to 3%. But now in those situations, we're going to have possibly some leftover money that can't be used. And then for us now, let's go back to the home inspection and the negotiating repairs. And if there's leftover money, maybe utilizing some sort of escrow holdback, and let's set aside some of that money and use it for flooring, or use it for paint, or whatever the case. There's so many dang creative ways that we could do it, because now there's more money on the table.
And the cost of moving has just gone up. And so there's going to be 10,000 things, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, that you haven't accounted for, that is just going to pop up. And so it'll definitely take some posturing and really dialing in what it is your financial situation is. But this is a hell of a tool. I do have another question for
Yeah.
you on it, because it seems like this is a completely separate entity from what our conventional FHA, VA stuff is. So what determines pricing? Because, over with VA, FHA, and conventional, we look at mortgage-backed securities. We look at, what the Fed's going to do, et cetera. Is this just a completely separate thing, or is there?
It's completely separate. So it's actually listed on their website. So you can, listeners, you can Google Home in 5 Platinum. The first thing that should pop up is Home in 5 Platinum highlights, and it should be underneath e-housing. So click that link. And when you pull that link up over on your right-hand side, it will tell you what programs. So FHA, VA, it'll say qualifying credit score 640, and then the day's rate. So the nice thing about Home in 5 is they're pretty consistent on their rate. It's not like it how our market's volatile. Mm-hmm. We don't really see much movement in those rates. The last time the product was out, which was months ago, it was at a 575. And, we've seen a drastic change in traditional programs. Right now, we did not see that with the Home in 5.
Okay.
Well, and I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, now the only time that we can actually lock that rate in is when we make the reservation with a contract. So once we have that contract, we enter in a reservation to reserve our funds, and then that rate is locked.
I think the other thing that we need to clarify, because people definitely go to the website and check it out.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest reasons that you do want to text the word 5 to 623 AZ Recon, or put 5 in the comment section is there's a lot that goes into still the negotiating process, because there's still more money on the table. But it's not like, this can be area specific. It's not like you just drive down any road in any city or any town and just pick out a house. You've got to be familiar with what areas qualify as opposed to what areas don't qualify.
Well, if you're a first-time home buyer, anything in Maricopa County will qualify. Now, if you're not a first-time home buyer, you can still qualify for this program if you look at the target census track area. You can find a target census track on here. There's an address lookup within the guidelines that you can use, and you can go after that property as somebody that's buying a second home or using a loan again.
I'm going to go ahead and answer Ryan's question. No, you can't use the program for investment properties.
You cannot.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, but second home is such a loose term, right?
So FHA, VA requires it to be a primary residence. So just FYI, it does require to be a primary residence.
But I could still buy a second property with basically zero money out of pocket, right?
Yeah, if this is going to be your primary residence. Now, I got to look at the Home in 5 guidelines to see if they're going to allow, even in targeted areas, for you to own another home. I don't believe that you can own another home with this specific program. Oh, one thing that I really did notice, and I really like about this down payment assistance program, a lot of the down payment assistance programs limit you to a single unit property, or sometimes you can do a 2-unit or manufactured home. This program will allow you to do a 4-unit property up to $1,090,000 on the purchase price, which is unbelievable. That will knock out a lot of these funds quickly. So it's all based on, so a single family home you can purchase up to $567,000, but a 4-unit you can go up to $1,090,000.
So what if I, being a homeowner and having an existing home, but I wanted to do that program where I wanted to buy a home for my college kid, where now I'm still going through the qualifying process, but I'm collecting.
The answer is no.
Okay.
I knew you were going with this right away. I should have just said no right away. No, that's a conventional loan that you were talking about. FHA and VA don't allow for that. The whoever's going to be on the loan must occupy the residence. Yeah.
Even if our college kid is on the loan as well?
So this one does allow for co-signers, but you would have to be a first-time home buyer co-signer. So
So pretty much the answer is no to
So pretty much the answer is
every
no.
idea that we've
they
got.
really try to narrow it down to get the homeowner
So,
to. Be
I want
the
my
first
$1 million in change for my fourplex, dude. I'm trying to figure this thing
I
out.
want my Obama phone. So when you come into the studio and you're getting ready to talk about these new programs, do you like go through the thought process? Okay, this is what Mike and Ryan are going to ask.
Yes, I do.
and-
Yes, I do. I try to cover my bases with these programs.
All
before
right,
you
we were
guys-
talking about the Home in 5 program. If you're a first-time home buyer or have a child or a grandchild that's a first-time home buyer, you cannot get a better deal on the face of the planet, and we encourage you to reach out to us, and we will help them through the process or help you through the process. All you got to do is text the word 5 to 623-AZ-RECON. That's 5 to 623-AZ-RECON, or simply put the word 5 in the comment section.